This quote by Martin Luther King pretty much sums up exactly what we'll talk about today. It says, faith is taking the first step, even when you don't see the whole staircase. One of the most essential tools to have in order to manifest your best possible life is faith. And I'm not talking about a religious-based faith, although I understand that's super important to many people. Faith in this episode is more about the things that you just naturally believe to be true. Such as, right now, I have faith that I will sit in this chair and this chair will stay connected to the floor. Or if I'm going to stand up and walk over to that door, I have faith that I can turn the doorknob and the door will open. I have faith that when I turn a light on as I enter a room, that the room will light up. I have faith that I turn my tap and water comes out of it so that I can have a shower or wash dishes. I have faith when I get in my vehicle and I stay on my side of the road, and then right across on the other side of the road, just separating us by a line, is an oncoming car. I have faith that they'll stay in their lane. That's the faith. The faith in the unexplained. Sometimes we don't even understand how these things work. We know what light is. We know that it comes from electricity. But if you're not necessarily an electrician, you have no idea the ins and outs of the workings of that. Or even when you get in your vehicle and you turn it on, I have faith that my car is going to start. And I don't understand. My husband will. He'll be able to tell you exactly how a car starts, exactly what's wrong with it by the sound it's making. But that's not something that is my realm of expertise. I just have faith. So faith is actually my word for 2023. I try to set an intention every start of a new year and have some sort of word that will connect me for that year to help me along to reach my goals. And faith was the one that stood out the most this year for me. It's something that I tend to get out of that realm when it comes to business building, or even sometimes when it comes to keeping my body healthy. So why is faith so important in terms of manifesting or even just being a human? Faith is so much stronger than fear. Faith that things will work out for you, a belief that life is always moving forward, everything's temporary, nothing stays the same, even health issues, even financial troubles, even relationship troubles. Having a faith that this doesn't necessarily have to be the way your life is huge, and it will help deplete and dissipate and kill off that fear that we all tend to have when things aren't going our way. If you can lean in to the faith, if you can allow yourself just to surrender on some level, that degree of control, it will absolutely be able to level up your life completely, and you won't even understand what hit you out at the other end to be like, wow, that was actually rather easy. It's also really important to remember that nothing in our life that's worth waiting for happens instantly. This was my biggest life lesson that I had to learn, and especially in a day and age where Google exists or social media exists, we tend to live in a now, I need that information, I need it to happen right now kind of world. And nothing worth waiting for happens right now. There's several different laws that we garner under the universe. A scientific law, for instance, is the law of gravity. We know that gravity will keep us from floating off into the ethers, up into the sky, right? But we don't always understand these different universal laws. I'm actually going to probably make a podcast about each one of them, and a YouTube video about each one of them, so that we can understand them a little bit more. But faith is really closely connected to the law of gestation. So just like when a baby is growing in your body, when the sperm hits the egg and everything starts to make motions and a baby starts to grow, it takes a human baby 40 weeks to fully develop and come into this world. So when you find out the moment that you're pregnant or that your partner is pregnant, you don't expect at, 8 to 12 weeks, wherever you sort of find out in that region, or maybe even earlier, that a baby is going to arrive the next day. You have faith that a baby will take some time. It marinates a while, it grows different organs, it has to grow protective layer of skin and hair, and it has to have a heartbeat, all the things that you want it to have in order to survive. So you can't just all of a sudden have this goal in mind for your life, or this, it could be a physical goal, it could be a financial goal for your life, and expect it to happen the next day. But one thing that will kind of speed that up a little bit is relinquishing the control and allowing your faith to kick in. Faith isn't always going to give you instant gratification. When you take the steps towards doing whatever it is that you want to do, you have to set your mind to it, make a decision, and then just have this underlying faith that it's been heard. It's been heard by God, universe, source, spirit, whatever connects you to that higher power state. I call it source energy, just because I deal with a lot of different clients who call it a lot of different things. So I didn't want to deter them by giving it one name. That's simply what that is for me. But once you connect to source and you believe that it's been heard, and you believe that you've been seen, and you're taking actions from your heart and getting really excited about things and feeling what that's going to be like at the end, then all you have to do is have faith. And everyone says that we need more self-confidence. Self-confidence seems to suffer as we grow older, right? We don't believe in ourselves. We don't believe in the way we look. We beat ourselves down. The truth about that is you really just need more faith. You need more faith in your ability. I have a client who is in transition right now from a job that she doesn't love. It was something that she wanted to try because she actually was trying to grow her self-confidence, when in fact the job itself is so out of realm for her that she feels this disconnect from who she actually truly is to what she was trying to be in order to have this job. And so now she's stuck right now. I mean, this has happened to so many of us. So many of us can relate to this. We show up at a job every day, and eventually it just kind of wears us down. And you wake up one day and you're just miserable. So that my client is finding it really hard to go from this job to stepping into what she really actually wants to do. And I had said to her, you know, the same applications that it took you to get this job that you knew nothing about, that you had to go through a whole bunch of schooling for, that you had to actually alter parts of who you are for that role, that same energy which sucked you dry because it's so far removed from what you truly want to be, is the same energy and then some that you can apply to being what you truly want to be. You can have the faith. You've got the evidence that you've already done it and it didn't work out. And that's sort of where she was getting tripped up. She felt like, yeah, but I already did it, but it didn't work out. But the part that's missing, or was missing, is that you did it for a job that you settled for in the first place. You did it because you thought, this job will make me money. It's the most logical step. I need money for this, that, and the other thing. I might as well just settle for this role. You didn't do it for something that gets you out of bed in the morning, ever, in the first place. You didn't do it because you thought, oh my God, I love doing this, I'm really good at this. I want to do this type of work in my life. I want to serve people in this way versus the logical step of what she's currently doing. And I think there's more than just her out there. In fact, I know there's more than just her out there. We all grow up and we've got this call inside of us when we're kids. We talk about, like myself, I used to talk about wanting to be an actress, a dancer, a singer, and somebody that was speaking on stages or performing on stages. That's the gift that I was born into this world with. But it didn't logically make sense, the starving artist thing. I wanted to make some money, so I went to school for radio broadcasting. I loved it. It yielded so many amazing things into my life and people into my life, but it was never my calling. It was never my true passion. I know several friends that once you sort of hit high school, they were really at you to pick something, right? So people are just picking things left, right, and center that logically makes sense. A nurse, a teacher, a doctor, a lawyer, a mechanic, a whatever, that kind of reflected grades that you may have got or logical steps in terms of making money. We don't actually connect to what we're good at, what we love to do in life, and what our heart is telling us to do. And so when you're just settling for things and then they're not working out, that sets the bar for us to feel like we can't do the things that we want to do because we have evidence that it didn't work out. But like I said, if you just pour in and do the things that you want to do, all the people, all the places, all the things you need, all the money you need in your life is absolutely going to show up. And the only thing you have to do is show up, love what you're doing, have fun with what you're doing, and have faith that you can be held by an unseen source. Have the same faith in yourself that you have in gravity when you stand up. I know it sounds super simple. I know when people listen to these inspiring words that us podcasters or YouTubers say, sometimes you're like, that's amazing. Yes, I want to do that. And then you turn it off and you're like, okay, now I'm just back to where I started. So how do you get faith? How do you get faith in yourself? How do you get the faith so that your self-confidence boosts up? So I'm going to give you a couple steps. Things that I've been recently playing with. When you start to tap into what's called your intuition is that little voice inside your head that you don't always listen to. You know the one I'm talking about. And so when you start to listen to that little voice, it's always the first one that talks to you, by the way. Over the course of many weeks, I've had things happen to me or things fly in at me, urging me to sort of grow and expand this business of mine. And the initial voice is always yes. Yep, yes, absolutely. And then your ego, which is sent to you, which is part of you to keep you protected, to keep you from getting eaten by animals. It's like your fight or flight. That's why you have it. It kept us protected for centuries, but it really doesn't serve that type of purpose anymore. So it keeps us small. It keeps us in a comfort zone. So yes was the initial reaction I had to a lot of these things. And then the self-doubt and the worry and the fear and the money paradigms and habits and all the things start to kick in and really squash it. I'm certain that someone out there can relate to this. But your intuition is that initial quiet, yep, yes. It's just all knowing. It's all comforting. And it can say no to you as well. I had one today, actually. Something flew in at me. Something that I've been trying to bring into my life for quite some time, but things have kind of shifted. And so this moment, this opportunity popped up, and immediately I was like, nope, I've moved past that. And so no was the answer, but because I had thought about it for so long, my ego was like, yeah, but we wanted to do this and we wanted to do that, and you've wanted to do this for some time. And so I actually had to get quiet and get out my journal and look back on some of my notes. And not one time in my journal had I actually wrote about this opportunity over the course of many months. So I knew my intuition said no. I knew that my heart said no. And so no was the answer. I didn't dwell on it. I didn't, I'm not going to lose sleep over it. No was the answer. And so tapping into your intuition, really listening to that feeling. So mine's always I can hear it. Other people can actually just have this feeling, this knowing, and they don't really understand where it comes from. Some people can just see it in their mind, see a picture in their mind's eye of it. Other people can smell something and it'll give them the thought. There's a lot of ways that your intuition can come into you. So when you get that little voice inside your head or that little feeling in your gut, step 1 is listen to that. Step 2 is to actually do something towards your desired outcome, whether that's in a business or whether that's with your health or a relationship or what have you. It is to actually do something today that scares you a little bit. When we're in our comfort zone, we don't want to be scared. We don't want to move past it. We're right here. We're just going to stay here. We're not going to move very far. And so we don't do anything, right? We just stick around in the comfort zone, laying on the couch, watching the Netflix, wearing the sweatpants after work, making supper, watching the hockey games, go to bed. I'm going to encourage you today to do one thing towards your goal in life that scares you. It makes you puke a little bit. Maybe it's spending a little bit of money investing in a program. Maybe it's calling somebody or inviting somebody to something. Maybe it's creating, and then let's say it's like creating a painting or creating a piece of writing and then showing it to somebody or putting it on Etsy. Do something today towards that. A little bit scary, but a little bit enlightening. So that scared feeling is going to feel like, oh my God, I'm so excited, but oh my God, I'm gonna vomit. Do that today. In seeking the discomfort, you begin to learn that fear is a mindset that you can challenge and that you can change. And once you realize that you're stronger than fear and your faith is so strong within you to be able to do things, you can accomplish any and all of your goals in your life. You just have to show up. You just have to start, and you just have to listen to the words within your heart in order to bring in the things that you want in your life. And I can promise you that once you start to step into that, everything will fall in line. All the pieces will come together for the puzzle, and you'll start to live this life that you only once dreamed of. So go out and get it. Good luck. I'm so excited. Send me a message on Instagram at Melissa Snowden Wellness, or also on Facebook at Melissa Snowden Wellness. Let me know if you've actually started those 2 things for your homework. Step 1, listening to your intuition. And step 2 doing that little bit scary, little bit exciting piece that's going to move you forward into your life. I'm so interested to hear, and I would love to share with you some other advice if you need it. Thanks for listening.